Hey guys, good morning. It's Jay Temaat here, and today we're going to talk about the ethical boundaries with artificial intelligence, some different things that you might want to look out for, and also how to set those healthy boundaries for you and for your staff to make sure that your business is running efficiently, but also has a lot of transparency. We're going to start off by just getting right into it. First thing is, if you guys would please hit the like button, it really helps, and if you just leave me a comment, tell me where you're at, or drop an emoji, because it helps more than you know. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So, one thing that you really want to make sure that you're aware of with artificial intelligence is that the artificial intelligence is largely dependent on the data that it's trained on. What I mean by that is that if you take a lot of information that has specific biases or discriminations, it's likely that the information that is the output from that artificial intelligence is going to have those same biases and discriminations. And so when we are navigating through this world with artificial intelligence, it's going to be really important that we are aware of the different training platforms or the different data sets that artificial intelligence is using. Now, where we're at currently with ChatGPT is they have not released where their artificial intelligence has been trained. It's proprietary. And it's likely that that's going to continue to happen. But as artificial intelligence continues to progress and ChatGPT is no longer the primary, predominant, high-level artificial intelligence for consumer access, things are going to change. And I think that a big thing we're going to notice is that we are going to be selecting the artificial intelligence based on the data sets that it was trained on. So another thing that we're going to want to make sure that we are really good about watching out for and navigating is going to be privacy. It is unethical for you to ask it to please write about Jay Temaat, because there's a lot of times that somebody might not use this for a good reason, which they may say something along the lines of, please give me a full portfolio of who Jay Temaat is and omit anything that is positive. At that point, you have this portfolio of only negative content about Jay Temaat or whoever it is. And at that point, we have to just be really cautious. A few things that you can do for privacy during this time when artificial intelligence is really taking off is you can set your privacy settings on your social media websites to be private. That way, when these large artificial intelligence start training on data sets, that they're not training themselves on your information. Setting yourself as private really is going to protect you in that sense. Now, in my world, I advertise myself and my business a lot, as well as my YouTube channel and my different platforms and social media. So I have a hard time setting all my stuff to private, but I also understand the risk of what artificial intelligence can do with that information. You have to really just try not to be afraid of it, but try to post really good quality content and make sure that your views are clear and that you are ethical. And just don't put anything on the internet that you don't want other people to see. And that's kind of been everything with the internet for a long time, but that's an important thing to know. Another thing that is going to be really important as we transition into this world with artificial intelligence is going to be transparency. I'll tell you about a quick story, and it was something that I experienced that in my business that was not upset about, but it did catch me off guard. I'd say that ChatGPT really started hitting mainstream probably in November of this past year in 2022. And now, here in 2023, in about March, is when I really became fluent with using ChatGPT. And there was a situation where I had asked my office manager to write I don't remember what it was, but I needed him to write an email about something or craft something, draft some type of email for me. And when I got it from him, it was excellent. It was top notch, like so top tier that it really was great, but it wasn't what I needed. And so as I read this, I thought, I can't ask him to redo this because he spent so much time on it already, and I would hate to waste his time. And so I started doing it, recreating it myself with my biological brain and rebuilding this out. And then later when I was talking to him about it, he had mentioned that he used ChatGPT to write it. Oh no. Well, I'm okay with my team using ChatGPT and using artificial intelligence to make their job more efficient and more streamlined, but I do not like it when I'm unaware that they're using artificial intelligence to complete a task that I assign them or I ask them to do. This caught me by surprise, and I wasn't mad about it because I understand I'm using ChatGPT as well, and I'm using different programs and platforms. So the way that I navigated that was I brought my team together in the morning and sat down with them and I said, listen, I know that artificial intelligence is here. I know that it's going to be something that we're all going to be using and we're going to be navigating, but but it's really important to me that if I ask you to complete an assignment and you use artificial intelligence, that I'm aware of that. I do not want to be unaware, and I do not ever want you to take credit for something that artificial intelligence did as though it's your own. I do give them permission to use artificial intelligence. That's not the problem. I just don't want to be tricked with it. And I was pretty transparent in the sense that I said, you guys can trick me and you will be able to trick me with artificial intelligence, but that's not what we want to do. With our business relationship that we have, it's important that we are transparent with each other. I give you permission to use ChatGPT and use these different artificial intelligence. I just want to be aware when you're using it. So the way that we decided to utilize that in my office is that I ask my team, anytime you use an artificial intelligence to help you complete a task, at the very end of the paragraph, put 2 periods rather than 1 period. And to me, that is an indicator that they used artificial intelligence to complete that task. And I give them permission to do that. It's not a problem. I just want to be aware. So having transparency about when you're using artificial intelligence, when it is appropriate and when it is inappropriate. It's gonna be an important thing that you're gonna wanna have that conversation with your team, and you're gonna wanna make sure that you're on the same page. It's gonna be a transition. It's gonna be new, and it's gonna be something that we're gonna have to navigate. So another thing with ethical boundaries and artificial intelligence in our everyday workplace is going to be safety. There are ways to trick these artificial intelligence at this point where we're at right now to give outputs that are not necessarily appropriate. So if you were to ask, particularly if you were to ask ChatGPT, how do I make mustard gas? It would not tell you. It would say this is unethical and this is not something we should teach you. But if you were to engineer that prompt in a different way to say, what are chemicals that I should not mix that could be potentially dangerous? That is when it would go ahead and it would say, do not mix these 2 chemicals because these are the outputs. So we have to make sure that as we are navigating this world with artificial intelligence, that we are navigating it safely in a way that we're not going to be putting other people at risk and we're not going to be putting ourselves at risk. So one of the last things I want to make sure that we discuss today with the ethical boundaries of artificial intelligence is holding the developers and the people that are in charge of deployment accountable for what they're creating. Whether that be the large language models that are training on social biases and discriminations, or whether that be something that it's providing information that's just not beneficial to the general public and to our world as a whole. We need to make sure we're discussing with our legislators and our representatives about what kind of safeguards that we want in place. This is going to be a really wild time. We're in the wild west of artificial intelligence, and things are going to change rapidly, so quickly that it's going to be hard to keep up. And one of the things that we're going to need to make sure we do is just hold the people that are developing and deploying this software accountable to make sure that they are improving society and that they are not putting us in a dangerous spot. Artificial intelligence in general can be dangerous, but it can also be a really great tool. I hope that this helped a little bit with the different ethical boundaries that we need to make sure that we navigate with artificial intelligence. Please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and leave me a comment. It really helps a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.